Hello friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade not Hallmark and my second card for my Christmas in July series. This card features some amazing products from Waffle Flower. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So I've got the Christmas postage stamp stencil set from Waffle Flower. I fell in love with this set as soon as I saw it. I meant to get it last year, but I never got an opportunity to. So this year I did, and I'm super thrilled with it. I've got so many ideas, and I love that this is such a versatile set. So you can definitely leave this stencil like pieces together with the die, the postage stamp die, or postage stamp collage die, excuse me, or you can cut it apart like I did in my card today. But you can see how easy this is. I'm just using some of the MFT dye inks to do all of my ink blending today, but you could use oxide inks, you could use regular distress inks, any kind of inks that you have will work just fine. And I'm just using these little blender brushes that I got to do all of my ink blending, so I don't have to like really mask anything off. I do get a couple of spots where the ink ran over a little bit, but I wasn't super concerned about that because I was going over it with a darker color. But this set is so easy to use. It comes with different layers. There it's numbered 1 through 4. You can do them in that order or not. I don't really think it matters, but it helps if you go in order. And again, they're really easy to line up, and I do apologize if my head gets in the way at any point. I was just making sure that everything was lined up. I am going to speed the process up a little bit here, but as you can see, the ink blending is super easy, and I love all of these little images that come in the set. I'm really hoping that maybe they come out with some more to add to this, so you can like mix and match and do a bunch of different things. I think that would be super fun, because I know that they've come out with so many for each season. They've got some for spring, for Easter, Valentine's Day, I think St. Patrick's Day. They just came out with a bunch for the summertime and the 4th of July. So it would be really fun if they came out with additions to these so that you can create more images and kind of mix and match. So I just wiped away all of that red ink because I'm going to go in and use some different colors, and I didn't want to smear it around the different areas. So I'm just going in with a nice blue here to add the background on the little house and tree scene, and then behind the deer as well. And they also have a stencil set that does, like, you can stencil the backgrounds on this and then stencil on top. I thought about getting that as well, but I really like the way that this is. I was super thrilled to get my hands on this collage die. It was so hard to get when it first came out. It's still a little bit difficult to get the original size. They've come out with multiple sizes, but I was really excited to get my hands on this one. It is super fun. I had a lot of fun creating this card. And again, I do have lots of ideas for this. They just make really simple cards, and it's, again, a lot of fun. I probably said it like a million times, but it really was. Next, I'm going in with the last layer, or one of the second to last layer. This is the third one here. And just, it finishes off the poinsettias, the deer, and I think the little house. So I'm giving this one a little Rudolph nose on the deer here. And then for the poinsettias, I'm just going in with a darker red as well. And then I'm going to do a little red door on the house. And again, you could keep your color palette pretty simple. I've seen a lot of people do kind of non-traditional colors as well, which I think is fun. I'm just more of a traditionalist when it comes to Christmas. I have a hard time thinking outside the box when it comes to Christmas and colors, but you could definitely switch this up and make it look however you like. I'm going in with a nice teal color here to add those little sparkles, and for the snowflakes that are behind the trees here. And then for the dots on the kind of like patchwork poinsettia, I'm going in with a nice yellow. The last layer on this, I wanted to add a little bit of shine and sparkle. So I am going to be using my paper glaze from Picket Fence, and this is the gold color. I mentioned this in my haul video a few weeks ago, and I really felt like this would look nice on here. Just add some shimmer and shine. You could use any kind of paste that you might have, would work fine, but I really thought this gold looked really nice. It added some nice, like I said, sparkle and interest to these, and it helps me add some gold sequins later, which I think is fun too. It really dresses it up. And now you don't have to do this. You could easily do this however you like. I've seen people use like white paste or no paste at all. You could just use ink if you don't have anything like that, but I think this is really fun. So I'm going to go ahead and get that layered on there, and then I'm going to go off and immediately clean off everything and let that set off to the side to dry while we work on the other elements for the card. So the background, I wanted to do like a tone on tone kind of pattern just to add some interest to the background, and I didn't want to use a text because I always use a text, so I just pulled out this one from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to be using some more of that ink from MFT. And I'm just going to do a tone on tone with some this Schoolhouse Red cardstock from Simon. And it's already pre-cut to the size I want for my card base. It's a slightly smaller than an A2 sized card. And you can see how wonderful this looked, this nice tone on tone. This would be pretty by itself. There's another idea, you guys. I've always come up with ideas as I'm creating, which I think is fun. Gonna go ahead and get this all cleaned off here, and then we can work on the greeting for the card. So I have another stamp and die set from Waffle Flower. This is all of Christmas greetings, and I love the font on this. I love how there's kind of like they're intertwined and intermingled together. I think it's really unique and different. And I love that they come with their own dies. As you guys know, I love to die cut all of my greetings. I think it's super fun, and it really kind of helps not have too much of like when you're using a stamp that doesn't have a die that really cuts it close. I feel like it creates too much on the card. I'm probably overthinking it, but either way, I'm going to stamp this down with some Simon Says clear embossing ink on top of some black cardstock, and I'm going to use some Brutus Monroe Alabaster White embossing powder to do my embossing today. So that kind of stands out on top of that red and with those other colors mixed in. And I just love this Merry Christmas. I have a feeling I'm going to be using this stamp set quite a bit this year for my Christmas in July and for my regular Christmas series. Super fun and unique. So I'm going to get ahead and get that heated up, and then I'm going to cut it out with the coordinating die. Next, I took out my mini Tim Holtz trimmer after my stenciled images were nice and dry, and I cut them apart so that they look like actual little stamps. Again, you can leave this all together. I've seen lots of creators create some awesome things with them all still together, but I decided I wanted to cut it apart and kind of place them on my card base individually like individual stamps. Now, it took me quite a while to get these arranged on here. At first, I thought I had a really good arrangement, and I really loved it. It looked really good. It was until I realized that I didn't stamp any of the kind of, it's like a coordinating stamp set that has cancellation marks and prices and other really fun things to go with this postage stamp set. And I just think it's a really unique idea. I really love the idea of doing postage stamps because we make cards, so you're going to have a postage stamp on there. I think it would be really fun to do a whole background full of some fun postage stamp stuff. So you can see here I'm adding a little bit of foam adhesive to a couple of pieces, and again here I was like, yeah, this looks really good. I got this all set up, everything's nice and arranged, and then I realized that I forgot to put in all of those cancellation marks. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stamp set out, and I'm just going to use black ink for this. It'll help tie in the black from the greeting. And I know I already put some foam adhesive on top of, or on the back of some of these, but I wasn't really worried about it being a perfect kind of stamp. I wasn't too concerned about that just because whenever they do cancellation marks, they never come through perfect. So it kind of felt like it matched with what I had going on. So I'm just going to put down a piece of white cardstock here to protect my surface a little bit. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp these randomly all over these stamps so they look like a real stamp that's been canceled, which I think is great. I was a little bit concerned about like stamping over top of all of that stenciling that I did. But in the end, I really liked it. It looked really cool. And I just really think it adds to the whole effect of this card. I'm also going to add in some little prices here, which I think is super fun and unique. This one says 50 cents. And then I think I pulled out the Forever one for on the trees. it's really fun that you can mix and match and play around with this and really create your own little stamps. It would be nice if you could actually use these as real mail stamps, like if they would be legit. I think that would be really fun because then you could create your own stamps for on your cards and it would be like this whole thing. It would be really cool. So go ahead and get this last one done here and we'll be ready to get the card assembled. Now again, after I did all of this, I had to redo all of my arrangements because I didn't want to cover up anything that I had just stamped because it just didn't make any sense. So what I should have done is I should have assembled the card the way that I had it and then went in afterwards and did all the cancellation marks and all the other stamping, because then I wouldn't have struggled with figuring out a new layout for my card, which it was kind of a bummer. But in the end, I got it to work. So I'm going to skip ahead to where I actually got it all laid out because I did fiddle and fuss with this for quite a while. I even walked away from it because I was getting a little bit frustrated because I couldn't get it all to line up the way that I liked. And eventually I figured out the way I wanted to do it. And I took another little stamp that was from the same one that the register marks came from, and it was like this little airplane, and there's a die in the Postage stamps die set that will cut that little airplane out, and I felt like that was a nice addition to the card, add some more shapes and interest. So now that I'm happy with everything, I'm going to go ahead and adhere everything down. And I'm going to adhere this one down nice and flat, and then the other ones are going to be popped up with some foam adhesive. I'm just making sure I get everything exactly where I want it and I'm happy with it. At first I thought the tree was crooked, but it's definitely not. Just those jagged lines on where the die, it cuts it out, almost makes it look like it's crooked, but it's definitely not. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one placed in there. And I'm starting to really love the way that this is coming together. Get that little circle one adhered down. I thought about adding one more to the front, but I was like, no, I'm just going to leave it. I'll put it on some on the inside. And this is where I thought that tree was crooked. It really wasn't crooked. I was just overthinking it completely like I always do. So I'm going to re-adhere that with some glue and I will be happy finally. All right, we'll get that one down on there and then we can get the Merry Christmas adhered. So I am going to use some foam tape to adhere that as well as some liquid glue because it will be popped up on the one side. And I just love the way that this turned out. Looks super cute. Again, I could see multiples of this being made. If you didn't like the red background, you could do a green background or you could do a blue background. Next, I'm going to take some flat sequins from Simon Says Stamp in gold to match the gold that was on the stenciling that I did earlier. Just a few pieces here and there. This is one of my favorite sets to use for the holidays. I just think it's super pretty and shiny. So once I was happy with the placement of those, I just used some liquid glue to adhere those down. And once I have that all done, I can get my card base ready, which is just a top folding A2 sized card base. It's 120-pound cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, my preferred cardstock when it comes to creating cards. And I thought about adding both of these in there on the inside, but I didn't think there would be enough room to add a greeting. And I didn't stamp a greeting on the inside, so it's very open-ended. It just says Merry Christmas, and then there's plenty of room to add a greeting later. So then I can just hold on to these other two stamps for another card later. Just reinforce that top fold so it's nice and flat, and then I can get my card panel adhered down with that same liquid glue. I'm super excited to get my Christmas in July series going. This is my third year doing it, and I have so much fun with it, and I know that you guys do, and I'm super excited to be back crafting in my craft room, and I'm really excited to have you guys here with me for this crafting season. Last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to add in a little bit more shimmer with this Stardust glitter pen. I'm just adding some details to the little ornaments. I'm going to add some to the collar on the reindeer and to the little Christmas trees, just to add a little bit more shine and sparkle. You can never go wrong with Christmas cards and shine and sparkle. You can definitely get away with it a little bit more. And then that will finish up this card for today. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and taking the time to watch my videos. And if you did like the video, please consider hitting that like button as well as the subscribe and that little notification bell next to it. It will notify you every time that I upload a video, and so you don't miss out on anything during my Christmas in July series. Again, I really appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll catch up with you guys again real soon in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. On screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Please consider hitting the subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my YouTube channel.